Chapter 1: What are emotions for? In this chapter, Goleman explores the purpose and function of emotions. He argues that emotions are not irrational, but rather play an important role in decision-making and social interaction. He also introduces the concept of emotional intelligence, which he defines as the ability to recognize, understand, and manage one's own emotions, as well as the emotions of others. Actionable steps: develop an understanding of the purpose and function of emotions. Begin to develop emotional intelligence by recognizing, understanding, and managing your own emotions. Context and examples. In business, emotions can play a significant role in decision-making and social interactions, from negotiations and sales to team dynamics and leadership. Entrepreneurs who are able to recognize and manage their own emotions, as well as the emotions of others, can improve their communication, decision-making, and leadership skills, which can ultimately lead to greater success. Chapter 2: Anatomy of an Emotional Hijacking. In this chapter, Goleman discusses the concept of an emotional hijacking, which occurs when an intense emotion takes over a person's thinking and behavior. He argues that emotional hijackings can be harmful, both to the individual and to others, and can be caused by a lack of emotional intelligence. He also provides examples of emotional hijackings and their effects. Actionable steps: develop emotional intelligence to avoid emotional hijackings. Recognize the signs of an emotional hijacking and take steps to avoid or manage them. Context and examples. In business, emotional hijackings can lead to poor decision-making, impulsive actions, and damaged relationships. Entrepreneurs who are able to recognize the signs of an emotional hijacking, such as increased heart rate, rapid breathing, and heightened emotions, can take steps to manage their emotions and avoid making rash decisions. Developing emotional intelligence can also help entrepreneurs to better manage their emotions and avoid emotional hijackings. Chapter 3: When Smart is Dumb. In this chapter, Goleman discusses the limitations of IQ and academic intelligence in predicting success. He argues that emotional intelligence is a better predictor of success in life, including in business. He provides examples of successful individuals who have high emotional intelligence, despite not having a high IQ. Actionable steps: recognize the limitations of IQ and academic intelligence. Begin to develop emotional intelligence to improve your chances of success. Context and examples. In business, success is not solely determined by academic intelligence or technical skills. Emotional intelligence can play a significant role in decision-making, leadership, and communication, all of which are critical to success in business. Entrepreneurs who prioritize emotional intelligence, in addition to other skills, can improve their chances of success and build stronger relationships with colleagues and clients. Chapter 4: Know Thyself. In this chapter, Goleman discusses the importance of self-awareness in emotional intelligence. He argues that self-awareness involves recognizing and understanding one's own emotions, as well as one's strengths and weaknesses. He also provides examples of individuals who lack self-awareness and the negative impact it can have on their lives. Actionable steps: develop self-awareness by recognizing and understanding your own emotions, as well as your strengths and weaknesses. Seek feedback from others to improve your self-awareness. Context and examples. Self-awareness is critical to success in business and life. Entrepreneurs who are able to recognize and understand their own emotions, strengths, and weaknesses can make better decisions, build stronger relationships, and lead more effectively. Seeking feedback from others can also help entrepreneurs to improve their self-awareness and develop a more accurate perception of themselves. Chapter 5: Passion's Slaves. In this chapter, Goleman discusses the role of emotions in motivation and passion. He argues that emotions can either fuel or derail passion, depending on how they are managed. He also provides examples of individuals who are able to channel their emotions into productive pursuits, and those who are unable to do so. Actionable steps: learn to manage your emotions to fuel your passion and motivation. Recognize when your emotions are derailing your passion and take steps to manage them. Context and examples. Passion and motivation are critical to success in business and life. Entrepreneurs who are able to channel their emotions into productive pursuits can maintain their passion and drive, even in the face of challenges and setbacks. On the other hand, entrepreneurs who are unable to manage their emotions effectively may find their passion and motivation derailed by negative emotions. Chapter 6: The Master Aptitude. In this chapter, Goleman discusses the concept of empathy as a key component of emotional intelligence. He argues that empathy involves understanding the emotions and perspectives of others, as well as being able to communicate effectively with them. He also provides examples of individuals who have strong empathy skills and the positive impact it has on their lives. Actionable steps. Develop empathy skills by practicing active listening and seeking to understand the perspectives of others. Use empathy to improve communication and build stronger relationships. Context and examples. Empathy is critical to success in business and life. Entrepreneurs who are able to understand the emotions and perspectives of others can communicate more effectively, build stronger relationships with clients and colleagues, and make better decisions. Practicing active listening and seeking to understand the perspectives of others are effective ways to develop empathy skills. Chapter 7. The Roots of Empathy. In this chapter, Goleman discusses the origins of empathy in childhood and its role in development. He argues that empathy is a learned skill that can be developed through positive social interactions and emotional support. He also provides examples of how empathy can be inhibited in childhood and the negative impact it can have on later life. Actionable steps. Develop empathy skills through positive social interactions and emotional support. Recognize the factors that inhibit empathy and work to overcome them. Context and examples. Empathy is a learned skill that can be developed over time. Entrepreneurs who experienced emotional neglect or trauma in childhood may struggle to develop empathy skills, but can work to overcome these barriers through therapy and practice. Understanding the roots of empathy and its importance can help entrepreneurs to prioritize empathy in their personal and professional lives. Chapter 8. The Social Arts. In this chapter, Goleman discusses the role of social skills in emotional intelligence. He argues that social skills involve effective communication, conflict resolution, and building relationships. He also provides examples of individuals who have strong social skills and the positive impact it has on their lives. Actionable steps. Develop social skills through effective communication, conflict resolution, and building relationships. Use social skills to build stronger relationships and improve communication. Context and examples. Social skills are critical to success in business and life. Entrepreneurs who are able to communicate effectively, resolve conflicts, and build strong relationships can build successful businesses and maintain positive personal relationships. Developing social skills involves practice and feedback from others and can be improved over time. Chapter 9. Intimate Enemies. In this chapter, Goleman discusses the role of emotional intelligence in relationships. He argues that emotional intelligence involves recognizing and managing emotions in intimate relationships, including romantic partnerships and family relationships. He also provides examples of how emotional intelligence can improve these relationships. Actionable steps. Develop emotional intelligence to improve relationships with romantic partners and family members. Recognize the emotions of others and communicate effectively to improve intimacy and build stronger relationships. Context and examples. Emotional intelligence is critical to building strong, healthy relationships with romantic partners and family members. Entrepreneurs who are able to recognize and manage emotions in intimate relationships can communicate more effectively and build stronger bonds with their loved ones. Developing emotional intelligence involves recognizing the emotions of others and effectively communicating one's own emotions. Chapter 10. Managing with Heart. In this chapter, Goleman discusses the role of emotional intelligence in leadership. He argues that effective leaders are able to recognize and manage their own emotions, as well as the emotions of their employees. He also provides examples of how emotional intelligence can improve leadership skills and create more productive and positive work environments. Actionable steps. Develop emotional intelligence to improve leadership skills. Recognize and manage the emotions of employees to create a positive work environment. Context and examples. Effective leadership requires emotional intelligence. Entrepreneurs who are able to recognize and manage their own emotions, as well as those of their employees, can create more productive and positive work environments. Developing emotional intelligence involves recognizing and managing emotions, practicing empathy, and effective communication. Chapter 11. Mind and Medicine. In this chapter, Goleman discusses the role of emotions in physical health. He argues that emotional intelligence can help individuals to manage stress and promote physical well-being. He also provides examples of how negative emotions can have a detrimental effect on physical health. Actionable steps. Develop emotional intelligence to manage stress and promote physical well-being. Recognize the negative impact of negative emotions on physical health and take steps to manage them. Context and examples. Emotions can have a significant impact on physical health. Entrepreneurs who are able to manage their emotions effectively can reduce stress and promote physical well-being. Developing emotional intelligence involves recognizing the impact of emotions on physical health and taking steps to manage them, such as practicing mindfulness or seeking therapy. Chapter 12, The Emotional Brain. In this chapter, Goleman discusses the neuroscience behind emotions and emotional intelligence. He argues that emotions are processed in the limbic system of the brain and that emotional intelligence involves understanding and managing the responses of the limbic system. He also provides examples of how emotional intelligence can be developed through neuroplasticity. Actionable steps. Learn about the neuroscience behind emotions and emotional intelligence. Develop emotional intelligence through neuroplasticity exercises, such as mindfulness practices or therapy. Context and examples. Understanding the neuroscience behind emotions and emotional intelligence can help entrepreneurs to develop a more comprehensive understanding of emotional intelligence. Developing emotional intelligence involves learning to recognize and manage the responses of the limbic system, which can be done through neuroplasticity exercises such as mindfulness practices or therapy. By developing emotional intelligence, entrepreneurs can improve their decision-making, leadership, and communication skills. Chapter 13, The Balance Within. In this chapter, Goleman discusses the importance of balance in emotional intelligence. He argues that emotional intelligence involves finding a balance between different emotional tendencies, such as optimism and pessimism, or assertiveness and empathy. He also provides examples of individuals who have found a balance in their emotional tendencies and the positive impact it has on their lives. Actionable steps. Develop a balance between different emotional tendencies. Recognize the impact of different emotional tendencies and work to find a healthy balance. Context and examples. Balance is critical to emotional intelligence. Entrepreneurs who are able to find a balance between different emotional tendencies can make better decisions, build stronger relationships, and improve their well-being. Developing a balance involves recognizing the impact of different emotional tendencies, such as optimism or assertiveness, and working to find a healthy balance between them. This can be done through practice, feedback from others, and self-reflection.